Call the Economic Development and Planning Committee to order, please. Supervisor Demeza is not here, so obviously I'm here. I'm sorry?
You won't hear it.
That's what I thought.
You don't want to hear what I said.
There you go. Items for discussion. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring up? From the committee? Not from the committee? Okay, I've got one thing. I had about a 25-minute conversation with Senator Kachik this morning, and she is introducing legislation in the Senate, and I believe Assemblyman Santa Barbara is going to do the same thing in his House. And the legislation that they're going to present is to offer municipalities the opportunity to opt in to a program that allows us to reduce the assessment of flood damaged properties. And so Senator Kachik asked me if I would do a resolution in support of that from Montgomery County. And so that's what I'm telling you right now. I'd like to present from the floor, if it's okay with the committee, that we do this resolution. We'll have the wording put together before next week, but do this resolution in support of Senator Kachik and Assemblyman Santa Barbara on this item. And there's two bills actually that they're going to try to do. First bill is to reduce the ability to reduce the assessments when the municipalities opt in. And the second bill is for the state to step in and fill the budgetary gaps that are created by this to give financial assistance to the municipalities so that they don't realize that financial loss by reducing those assessments. Those are the two bills that Senator Kachik explained to me she's going to try to do. So I'm sponsoring that. Can we have a second? Supervisor Stark, I have on that. So I have first, Butch, sorry.
Okay.
Any discussion on that?
It's actually a question, Chair. Is that going to be a permanent reduced assessment? Like
It's
a long period of time, or is that just during?
if you recall, in 2011, we did the same thing. Or actually, I think it was January of 12. January of 12, we did the same thing. We opted in, and that allowed assessments to be reduced on properties in the town of Florida, and I believe the town of Charleston. And that is permanent as long as there are no improvements made. Once the improvements are made, obviously, then the assessor does their job and raises the assessments.
And then the money that is coming from the state would come every year until there's some improvement?
I wouldn't count on that.
Okay. I've heard what you said, that it would be offset.
Well, I think the one that had the most difficulty with it last time was Schoharie School District. Actually, they decided not to opt in because they could not afford the loss of revenue to keep the school going that would have been realized because of all the damage that was done in Schoharie Central School District. We don't have anything like that we're going to experience. Obviously, the town of Minden and the village of Fort Plain are the ones that experience the loss.
And is that going to be based on individual towns, or is that just county?
The assessors
Towns,
from
city,
the towns will opt in, as well as the county. And once the county opts in, then the towns can opt in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Supervisor Quackenbush.
It's the timing of the floods. Because the tax rolls have been closed as of July 1st, what the bill actually does is introduce the opportunity to open the tax roll back up for the assessors to go in and reevaluate. If this happened 2 months earlier, you may not have had to do it because the roll wasn't closed yet. So what it does is it gives the opportunity to go in and reevaluate, but with this, I can't pronounce it, I think it's reciprocal reevaluate. Where they do a 6-year town each year,
Right.
like they do in your
Reassessment.
This is going to be a constant reevaluation in our towns anyway, or at least when you get to 100%, you're in that program. So as these come back, the reevaluation will occur, and the prices will go according to whatever they're worth. If they never come back, agree with John. I wouldn't count on it being a,
Well, obviously, you can adjust your budget after this budget. And that's the difficulty, is that the budgets are already created, so you're gonna realize a shortfall when those assessments are relieved to the property owner. Anybody else? Wishes of the committee? Move it? Okay, that's all I have as far as discussion. Ken Rose, you have computer upgrades.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I don't know if you guys have gotten that processing director, Dan Cole's email the past couple of days, but this is in relation to a bigger overall project that I'm trying to do in the Old County Courthouse, and Greg's here for that process, so we can jump in at any time. But as it relates directly to my office, in previous years up through the 2009 budget year, I tried to budget for new computers for each staff member every single year. So I did this big thing, I had to go to the board and ask for $5,000-$6,000 worth of computers. 2010, you know, was a tough budget year, so those line items got wiped out of my budget. So right now, the newest computer in the office is a 2009. The oldest computer that we're on is a 2006. Last year it started getting pretty difficult. This year has been extremely difficult, more so than last year even. As our computers have become outdated, the software has become outdated, the efficiencies for staff, the frustration from staff to even do normal tasks has become increasingly brought to me. So now I'm bringing that to you. I know the data processing is going to go through to try to increase the bandwidth. I've been able to work around it. I got a Mac. The idea is for a separate internet connection, Wi-Fi connection for us, and I believe the downstairs can utilize it too. We gave them the password, so that took care of some of the workaround issues. But I'll be honest with you, half the day I'm using my Mac, my personal Mac, to do county-related work, or else it just won't get done. So that's what I'm here for. We got quotes for new PCs, because that's what we need with monitors, and it was about $7,000. I can utilize $2,000 of the revolving loan fund community development money, because that one is utilized by one staff person in the office to, half of her time is related to the revolving loan funds. That would be a use of funds that we could transfer from there for the computer purchase for her. Other than that, I would be about $5,400 short for the other three computers. So I'm here to the board to request a resolution basically to take from whatever account possible and put it into my computer line item that we acquired these computers.
Just to sort of tack on to that, the specific hardware that they're using, again, it is on the older side. They probably represent one of our biggest users or heaviest users in terms of the kind of work that they do. Everything from CAD workstation type engineering drawings, planning, does a lot of mapping. They're constantly putting together brochures, trying to get folks interested in their projects. That involves a lot of photo manipulation, desktop publishing, etc. So this is much bigger use than some of the other departments who just need a more basic office class machine. Having an older machine, having older software, as their need increases, really becomes much more of a hardship than it would on a different department. So it's much more than it would be for somebody who just needs to, browse the web or do email or Excel or something. And if you have any questions on this, I'd be happy to answer them. Chris?
If Ken gets the money for this, are you going to do the purchase?
I'm not sure. Is it it'll come to them? In fact, it'll come to us. We're the ones that got the quotes.
Thank you.
Obviously, you've already got quotes, so that means you've got specs. Is the equipment been spec'd out so that we could realize the same longevity perhaps that with the machines that they currently have?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Unfortunately, again, with what they do, it's a faster turnaround than it would be on other equipment in terms of obsolescence, but we're still hoping to get 3 to 4 years out of the machines if at all possible.
3 to 4 years. Anybody else?
You know, just a thought, that Greg, why don't you piggyback on the Ken so that we can hit this all at the same time?
Okay. As far as,
I mean, I know it might have been a different committee, but it's the same topic.
Yeah, we got one on general services for Dan's resolution to do the infrastructure for this.
would you like to discuss that now, or?
Might as well.
It goes hand in hand, so I just,
As far as that's concerned, we've put in a request for funds for a significant infrastructure upgrade for the Old County Courthouse. This involves everything from wiring to putting in an air-conditioned rack unit to a server for that location that would handle Public Defender's Office, would handle History and Archives, would handle elections, and of course would handle that's going to basically be significant speed increase for any kind of network connectivity for any of those departments. That's especially important, obviously, for economic development, but also for Board of Elections. Board of Elections has been hit with a number of steep mandates in the last year, and there are several more coming forward, which all require heavier connectivity to the state. All of their connectivity, of course, goes through that connection to the county. Right now, they're using something that is slightly better than a dial-up connection, which means they're incorporating a fiber connection and putting in better connections to the individual locations and individual stations.
You're putting a fiber connection in?
Between the buildings,
Which buildings?
between the annex building and the county courthouse. It actually cycles through DPW simply because that's where the actual trough goes into the building. But
Okay, so the next question I have is, I know that there's been a series of telephone problems with the old courthouse. Does our current supplier have the ability to do fiber optic, to do our phones fiber optically?
I'm not certain.
Paul?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they do, because I just had that discussion with him on Friday afternoon, because he was here Friday afternoon to try to get Ken's phone working. What he's having is trouble finding pairs.
Right.
He'll find a pair that's good, he'll hook Ken's phone to it, and by Monday, his phone wasn't working again. So the discussion I had with him on Friday was that I know when the sheriff's department was on Park Street, that there is a fiber optic cable that goes from the annex building to the old garage. I'm assuming that's still there.
Actually, I can't say what that is. I almost think that I got removed when the last big shift was done. But it's not working.
Well, they might not be using it, but I don't think it was actually taken out of the ground. So my question to him was, rather than replacing the cable underground from DPW to the courthouse, would it be possible to utilize that cable that now goes to the jail garage and then possibly doing something from there to the old courthouse, so we don't have to dig up two parking lots, Park Street and everything else? He seemed to think it was doable. He didn't have time to do much research. It was like 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon when I discussed it with him. But it is on their radar because they're well aware of the phone connectivity problems that we're having between annex through DPW to the courthouse.
Okay. To follow that up, just to answer your question, if that doesn't work out as a viable solution immediately, yes, we could tack on some kind of phone service line through that same fiber.
Well, I believe that the technician I was speaking with said that the cable has 100 twisted pairs. And that should be no issue at all for fiber optic to take over that load. Anybody else? What's the committee want to do?
what's it cost? I think one final comment is that I think part of those upgrades are what Ken needs in EOD, so they almost go hand in hand. So if you're looking at 18,000 here and $5,400 there, or 6,000, so you're looking for $24,000
To cover the whole project.
to do the whole project.
want to do a resolution?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're just
What was
gonna
it?
argue about who's gonna be the sponsor.
General Services Committee, but it's limited to the $18,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
unless you
okay.
want to amend that resolution to be 18,000.
On hand, but on the committee.
The General Services Committee already has a resolution to include the 18. We could amend it to include the other line. And it's taking it out of appropriated fund balance. I don't imagine we're gonna take it from anywhere else. So Supervisor Raskowski, you wanna take care of that in your committee?
I'll take care of that, yes.
Anything else you wanted to add, Ken? All right. Anybody else have anything before we get to the resolutions? All right. First up is a resolution establishing the Montgomery County Flood Disaster Bridge Financing Program utilizing the Economic Development Program Income Fund, sponsored by DeBeza. I'll second that. Ken, if you want to just give us a quick rundown on what we did. Basically, it's the same as last time, correct?
Yeah, we've been through this before, so it's pretty much the same thing. I did talk to Mayor Barton today from the Village of Fort Plain to see for an updated figure with regards to businesses affected, and he gave me a count of 87.
We don't have 87 businesses in Fort Plain. We don't have to come up with that.
That's the count he gave me. Those are from mom and pops to, what owners. But I mean, obviously there was some larger, like Save a Lot and everything, and Hope Lots were there. Obviously there were some larger employers and establishments that were affected by this. I had staff out there Thursday or Friday going to some of them to see what their plans were, what issues they had, just to kind of get an assessment on our end. There are some salary report that probably aren't going to, even with something like finance, probably will not come back to this because they, got everything already into what they lost. There are others like, especially Save a Lot stuff that are looking for other areas within that village or that immediate vicinity to potentially put another establishment. But what this loan will do is as we went through this, and as you see this with disaster assistance money or anything, there's a timeline. And that time can be a substantial timeline for businesses to receive any type of insurance dollars, any type of money from FEMA if they're in any flood zone. What this would allow us to do is to speed up our revolving loan process. It allows us basically to do the same underwriting that we always do on a loan. However, it would come to our office, we would do the underwriting, we would bring it to the IDA. The IDA would give their stamp of approval or disapproval, we make sure all conditions are set in place. And then from there, in normal instances, it comes to this board. There's another 30-minute, potential delay on approving it and then a closing. Once the IDA, they give a positive recommendation to the loan, this resolution will authorize the chairman of the board of supervisors to sign off and sign the closing documents for that loan. It would be temporary bridge financing. In the past, when say the money never did come in, this loan has agreed to a lower loan. I think we got prime -2 right now, -3.25. So it would be a nice low interest rate for these businesses that are already current. There would be an interest rate charge to it, there like 60 months to pay it off. We have substantial funds in there. We're around $2 million, I think, right now. We have loaned out, so there aren't dollars there. We would cap these at $200,000 based on some of the businesses there. I see potentially one that would actually probably necessitate going up to that amount. But we have the dollars there. This is then a threat. We can use this within the auspices of program funds. Something we can roll with every time.
Okay, Supervisor Sweet?
Are you going to be contacting the businesses, or should they contact you?
No, we're going to be we've already sent out the general feelers when when that staff was out there last week. From there, what we'll do is if we do get kind of a go-ahead here, obviously it won't be to the full board that they approve it, but there seems to be a favorable response here tonight. We'll start getting the word out. We'll definitely contact the village, so as the mayor's out there and the trustees are out there, and you're talking to people, they can send them in our direction, you let them know that it's available, and we'll start getting the press releases out, get out there ourselves.
I believe the Save-A-Lot owner plans on reopening in the same location.
Yeah, he was up in the air last week when I talked to him. I know
Anybody else? Wishes of the committee? It is moved. Next up is a resolution authorizing the chairman to sign grant application for transportation enhancement program, economic development and planning, sponsored by Demeza. We need a second. Supervisor Coddington. Discussion? Wishes of the committee? Move it. Anything else? Before I forget, I did have contact from Senator Gillibrand's office today as well, and Senator Katchik conveyed to me that Congressman Tonko and Congressman Gibson are all three of them trying to get the president to declare. So I think Senator Gillibrand just wanted to give us an FYI and let us know that she knows we're still alive. So, all right, motion to adjourn.
Great.
We are adjourned.
Okay, I'll call the Education and Government Committee meeting to order. Anyone wish to discuss anything? If not, I will remind you that the next meeting for the discussion of the administrative codes will be July 29th at 4 o'clock. Steve was not available on July 22nd, so we've sent it to July 29th. Anything else anybody'd like to discuss?
What time is it?
4 o'clock. And first resolution is a resolution adopting the 2013-14 FMCC operating budget. I sponsored that. I need a second. Supervisor Stark. Discussion. Wish of the committee? Okay. The second resolution is a resolution appointing position of interim clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Supervisor Rico has sponsored that, and I need a second. Supervisor Stark. I would like to amend this resolution somewhat. The first resolve and the second resolve, the first resolve and the first further resolve, I'd like to amend that effective date of September 30th, 2013 through June 30th, 2014. And the reason I say that is because the people that are familiar with the committee's work with the administrative code, we're discussing the option of all appointments that expire on January 31st, I mean, December 31st of this year will be automatically extended until June 30th. That kind of, we had some continuity there with what's in place. And secondly, any appointments that are after December 31st, and they're going to run until the appointment's over. We've been discussing that in the administrative code, and I think if you've done that with this one, that'll give the option. If you go along with the discussion we've been having with the administrative code, if we go along with that, then that would automatically fit into this. And if it didn't, then you'll be back to the option of January 1st. The legislature would do what they want to do. So that's the amendment I'm proposing. Anybody want to second that?
Why don't you just do a typo?
Or
Change, if it's okay with everybody else.
move the typo?
Why
It's
not?
fine with me. Any good?
The only concern I have is calling the position an interim clerk of the Board of Supervisors after December 31st. There won't be a Board of Supervisors to be it.
That's correct. It'd be a county legislature. Yeah, that's right. It'd be a county legislature. Yeah. You got a point there.
Supervisor.
Yes.
Well, I was kind of going to clue on to what Doug was just saying, and I agree with Doug, but also maybe the thing to do would be now do it till the 31st, and then if something happens with your administrative code, then adjust it.
Okay.
But I was kind of going where Doug was to begin with you don't have a board. of
Yes,
supervisors.
thank you for pointing that out. I didn't even put that in my head there. That's right, you're going to change the bodies there January 1st, so, yeah, I guess we better stay with what we have then. Okay, I'll withdraw my motion on amendment. Okay, otherwise, any discussion on the resolution? Wishes of the committee? Move it. Anything else? Motion to adjourn? Thanks for reminding me.
All right, call the Public Safety Committee to order. First thing on the agenda is privilege of the chair, committee members, anyone have anything?
Seems how it's public safety, I just want to say what a commendable job our people from Montgomery County did in lieu of this flood. We got some great people. I was down at the EOC a lot in Fort Plain, and I think that we should be proud of our emergency management, the sheriff's department, DPW, right on down the line. I think everybody did a commendable job and tried to alleviate the injury as quickly as possible. So
And hundreds of volunteers.
that's exactly right.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair. Anyone have anything else? Now we'll move on to next thing on the agenda. Sheriff, you want to talk about the law library?
Yes, thank you. As you know, for the last few months, we've been talking back and forth about this issue. And I don't know if you've got the updated policy, if you have to file in time or not, but we have changed the policies. And since the last meeting, a couple of things have been decided. One, any inmate that's represented by Montgomery County Public Defender's Office, those requests will go to Montgomery County Public Defender's Office to handle. Any inmate that isn't represented by the public defender, I was able to talk to the president of the college, and he has a paralegal on staff, and that person actually talked to us today, and she is willing to do a memorandum to the college, and I should have it by full board meeting at the end of the month, and where she would do the research that the inmate requests, and should be charging us a fee doing that. I hope to get the memorandum before the meeting, so we can have it back.
He has it. Forward now. Yeah. We don't have it now. If you want to sponsor a resolution to that effect, we could bring it up.
So we just have a resolution to,
If that's what the committee wants to put forth, I just want to do it.
have a resolution to accept the signature for the, to authorize, her to do the research, basically.
Okay. To enter into an agreement with the college, I expect it would be with the college, if the person is an employee of the college to do or is she doing it for freelance?
That is sort of question, if she's doing it for herself, we pay her, or if it's the college, then we pay the college for her time.
Maybe we should wait because we don't
And-
know the parties are yet.
I guess we'll wait then, because we don't know if it's the college.
Yeah, you have to wait the end of the month, and also, you have to do a resolution to amend the policies that are attached to that.
We should rescind the other one.
We should
Without the
We should
rescission.
wait
And
until.
we'll wait until we see exactly what the,
Yeah.
if it's individual or through the college. Done?
Would that be in the line item, or could it be in the line item of, you know, attorneys, and what's the line item? Professional services. Could that be in that line item where you don't need to enter into a contract, or you'd still enter into a contract?
Probably still gonna
You
need a
should
contract.
still have a
Take it out of that line
contractual
item, though.
relationship with the person or the party which is going to do the work.
Take it out of that line item.
Regardless of what line item the funding will be taken out of.
Good. Anyone else on that subject? So we'll have, hopefully we'll have a resolution rescinding the old one and whatever we're gonna do with the college or with the individual for the full board.
Do we need a motion in a second?
Well, not for August.
Right. For August.
Oh, August,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
They'll come back before this.
Right.
Anything else on that? If not, we'll move on to the next thing, which is slideshow presentation.
So could you pull that down?
Yeah,
Was he a little upset? Mike, was he a little upset?
No, he seems to be okay. Okay, I won't be long. I will be as long as you want to be. Got a slideshow of some pictures of the facility. The facility is going to be 16 years old this year. That's really not true because it's 24-hour day, 7-day week, so it's probably up like 50 years old when you really think about it because it's used so much. The building needs attention. It's not getting the attention it needs. I always said I wanted the building to be, when I left, I wanted it to be what it looked like when I came there. And I can tell you right now, it's not going to be. And, for whatever reason, things aren't getting done, and we have some serious problems up there that need to be addressed. So I'm just going to show you the slides. If you want to comment, make your comments. I'll tell you what I know, about what you're looking at. And I guess what I'm asking for here is your direction, what you want to do. If you want to leave it the way it is, or if you want to do what you got to do to make it correct, fix it. This is in a hallway. This hole has been here probably 8 years, 9 years. There's a ceiling tile right above it.
The first one, sheet rock, right in the
Yeah.
wall.
Yes. Bring it up, stop this, so we can just do slide by slide, feel a little easier. And I can just go forward fast enough.
yeah, just right there.
Can you do that?
Yep, it's the arrow.
This is in a breezeway going out to the garage. This hole wasn't done by employees or equipment or anything. This has been there since like I said, 9 years ago. There's something in that wall that's making that sheet rock rot away. I don't know what it is. We had work orders in done for it, it just hasn't been taken care of. This is right above it, ceiling tiles. This is the breezeway between the main building, sheriff's office, and the garage. You can see it's bowed a little bit. It's got the brown. I don't know if it's a leak, if it's condensation, or what it is. This is in the employee's entranceway. This is the doorway into the employees. This door gives us all kind of trouble. We just had the maintenance guy, Ray Ludwin, who does the door, come up, the door wouldn't shut again. You have to make sure, this is a secure door for the employees. You make sure it's shut. You have to put signs on it to make sure that you pull the door shut and everything. The framework's going on it. I don't know what you just want to do to correct these problems. This is in one of the offices, again, the stains and from the leaking of either pipes, sweating, I don't know what it is. I put a work order in January this year to get the tiles replaced, and It hasn't been taken care of yet. This is in the civil office. This one particular area, I believe it's leaked at least 2 or 3 times, this same spot. This is in the hallway. You can see how the tiles are separated. And if you look a little further towards the back, you can see where tiles have been put in that don't match. Again, this is a 15 and 16-year-old building. This is where the public comes in right here. This is what the public sees. This is right in the public entranceway. This is the color tile that's put down. You see how they're separating. Apparently there's a crack there in the cement.
This is what I would see in the buildings.
This is the entranceway where the public comes in. This is probably, this crack in the cement has got to be probably close to 5 years old. I've asked for it to get patched, fixed, and it's been patched, but of course the patches don't last. And if somebody decides to step in that and twist their ankle, I had an estimate for $2,000 to take that whole area out, take it right out of there and put a new section in. And I'm still waiting for it to get done. These are the benches where the public sits. They're rusting and they're dropping onto the cement. And there's also cracks there right by the seat.
Is that white line like caulked or something, cracked? It's just-
Yes. Front doors. Now the front door and the next one behind, if you look to the right, you got a silver hinge on there. Looks like a piano hinge. There was a problem with those doors, and I don't know if they can't get the hinges or what it is, but this is the replacement. Yeah, maybe it works, maybe it's what we can do, but keep it up. This place is going to look like a real dump in about 5, 10 years. Remember, it's $20 million. This is the interior door. Same thing. This is in the hallway. As you come in, when the public comes in, they sit right under this. Now here, I don't know if there's water in the light or where it's coming from, but it's in a juvenile office. This is a public hallway by where the soda machines used to be. The public comes in. This is downstairs.
Go back one, Mike. Is that an outside wall?
Trying to think where that picture's been taken.
That's a window, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it says exit right
that's probably,
It says exit.
Oh, there's an exit sign.
yeah, it's an outside wall, isn't it? But I'm not 100% positive. That might be near the maintenance shop.
Exit sign would mean that there's a direction to get to the exit.
I put a work order in, I think 6 months ago, to have the tiles pulled up on the floor down here, and a new floor put down. At one time, they were looking at pulling it up, painting the floor, which I'm fine with. Just make it look decent again, and you'll have less maintenance with the painting than with the tiles. It got so bad that the tiles were just moving, so we just started pushing them off to the side and stacking them up in the hallway to get them out of the way. This is the way it looks today.
Is that concrete underneath?
Yeah. Sorry, this is crooked, but that's looking the other way, turning around, looking the other way. There's tiles throughout the hallway that are all popped up. If you look at, you really can't see too well in this picture, but you can see all the breaks of the tiles where they're supposed to be together. And either glue or whatever they did when they made this building, it didn't last. And maybe humidity down there, something is making the tiles come up off the floor. This is in the girls' bathroom, the threshold when you go into the shower. You see that all the gaps on the tiles, that they're just coming apart from each other and they're loosening up. I don't know what's going on. Some of these, and I think mainly in the jail, these spots, you're going to see real dark areas that look like mold. This is when you come down the bottom of the stairs, the rust from the stairs and the floor, and so you can see the different color tile. is going down the stairwell. I don't know why that tile is up. It's been up for a long time. This is our elevator. This is the door by the maintenance shop. You can see the gap in between, and the bottom of the doors are rusting. Yeah, and sooner or later, they're gonna be, the bottom of the doors will rust right out. You're gonna have to replace the whole door. I've asked to have them painted. I've asked to have Ray Logan come in and do whatever he has to do to fix the doors. Especially those gaps there, in the wintertime, you get cold air coming in. The summertime, the heat goes, cooling goes out. Right to the right of that, there's an electric heater on the wall, and that thing runs all the time in the winter because it's cold in that area. This is our training room. Rug. More tiles. You can see how they're sagging, dark areas. This is in the jail administrator's office, the window. I don't know if the frame is leaking, what's leaking there, but the sheetrock is wet and bubbles paint away. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Come on, fix it.
Bathroom.
That's a disgrace.
The inmate cell, or is that?
No, that's the staff's bathroom. And I think in the jail administrator's area. This is our vents. There's a lot of stain. In this room here, you got to really look at it. We had a problem about a year ago. And towards the back, right in this area here, there is plumbing in that room. That's an electrical room in the jail. When they designed this place, I don't know where the head was, but it wasn't on top of their shoulders. They have water coming into that room. A valve head broke in that room. Sprayed water all over the place. That's a computer rack right there. And the unit that was on that rack there went. And it shut down, I don't know, what, a couple of housing?
It was 2 pods and took quite a bit of work to get the replacement.
Yeah.
And that piece there is actually a patch panel.
So,
That would be cable.
they were able to, Dad was able to find something to put in to get back up and running after a while. We asked DPW if they could do something to keep the water away from the electrical. They built a wall in there around it with some kind of like formica board. So if it didn't pop again, it would keep it from spraying on that board. If you also look, we got an extension cord strung across in the air to get to that, to power it. We've asked to have that electrical ramp run around the wall and plug it in normally instead of hanging it there. In fact, when we had this problem, the insurance lady was there. She was a little upset to see how that was. That's how it was back then, before the pipe broke. It's not safe, asking for trouble. And somebody could walk in there, knock that wire off, and take down the system again, too. It's a closer shot. This is in the employee's bathroom in the jail. They took a unit off the wall, and this is house left. I wouldn't do that in my house.
What was on there?
I think it was a hand thing or a toilet paper. This is in a cell in the jail. Now, granted, yes, they're inmates, but if we start doing this, patching these floors with all different tiles, whatever we find, this place is going to look like a dump. If we can't find the tiles, then take all the tiles out, paint the floor. That's the way I feel. This way, one, you don't have to worry about matching tiles again, and two, that removes a weapon that they have, which is a tile. They break the tile up, they can sharpen it. Now this is in the medical housing area, and I guess the thought back then was to put tile down the floor because these people are in bed, they're sick, blah, 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 blah. But we use it for regular housing too now. So,
Do the normal pods have Or is that just a concrete floor?
No, the regular cells don't. The main area is all tile.
Right.
This here, you can see, this is the hallway, the main hallway of the jail. You can see the black, that's mold growing. That's an interior wall. This is the main hallway of the jail. So see, that wall would face the pods. Behind you is where like central control and all the other support units are. They fixed this one, they put a hole in the tile.
Let the water go through.
This is in the medical area. Right where I'm standing is where the examining table is, and that tile is all discolored. We have this piece of equipment in the jail, in the medical area. They came in and they found it was on top of a shelf being charged, and it was in a puddle of water through one of the leaks. $228 we have to replace this.
There's air conditioning there, right?
Yes.
It's a diffuser for air conditioning?
Yeah. This is a repair in one of the bathrooms.
What was that, a hole that was cut and then a tile was set on top of it?
Couldn't tell you, I just know it's there. I don't know when it happened or what they did, but there was some reason they had to get up in there maybe. And just a piece of your tile from the ceiling was shoved in there. That's probably a sheetrock ceiling, secure ceiling, a thick one. That's probably what that is here. You see the black dots in there, that's the mold again. This is the bathroom and booking. I don't know what to tell you. This is the outside where we bring the garbage out. Now, this is next to the loading dock. The loading dock is to your right. We bring the garbage bins out that way, and a set of wooden steps were built to the right there for you to walk up and down, and then a piece of plywood with a rubber mat was thrown there so they can wheel the carts down. It's an accident waiting to happen the way it's set up.
It's a little steep, isn't it?
Yeah, and to your left, you can't see it. The fence is right there. To your left.
Can they do that during the winter when it's probably frozen in the snow?
Yeah. You know, take it bad design when it was made. I don't, but we need to correct the problems. And then back to the beginning. I try to make it short because I don't want to, hold you all night long. I just want you to see what's there, and you tell me what you want to do, or
You put in an order. I heard you say that several times. You put in a work order. When you put in a work order, is there a response time to at least get back to you to say, look, we don't have time to do it? Or how do you track this and continue to, it sounds like we need a way to track what's happening because it's not being followed up with, if it's not being done. If it's because there were layoffs or there's not enough manpower or any other reason that anybody wants to come up with, it seems like we're not staying on top of it. Maybe we need some sort of a track. But everything that you're showing us, I mean, while it looks like a lot, and it is a lot, it's because it's built up over time, but a lot of it's ceiling tiles and pieces of sheetrock. And there's got to be some condensation problem or water.
well, some kind of water problem. I don't know, like I said, whether it's, I don't know if it's holding you up. I don't know if it's condensation or if it's leaks or what the heck.
Yeah, I mean, since you sent that CD to me a couple, 3 weeks ago, I've had Mike investigate to see the majority of it is condensation. So now what we're looking at, some sort of like a fee system that can hang from the pipe that collects the condensation or the evaporates, so it's not. But we don't want to rush in, replace all the tiles and have to do the same thing over again. So he's been looking into these various spots to see what we can do. Prevent the ceiling tile. What do we need?
Well, the tiles are one of three things. tile's either the roof is leaking in spots, or the air conditioning ducts are not insulated, so you got condensation there. Or there's sprinkler piping that's dripping. You know what I mean? So it's one of the three. But there are two common themes in there.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be roof leaks, it appears to be condensation, whether it's from the air conditioning system or from
The other one on the floor is not uncommon either, because you have shrinkage over time. Concrete will shrink for 90 years, something like that. But you have to put breaks in. So when you see the tile separating, you know what I mean? There's something else going on, you know?
No, there's actually cracks in the concrete.
Yeah, but
But you could fix that with trial down.
you know, yeah, there's a couple of things that are going on there, the reason for it. They're not always, I've seen those in brand new buildings, the separation of tile. So,
Jeff?
Wouldn't it be smarter to prepare an RFP and have some engineering firms come in and give us evaluate the building, a quote on evaluating it, so we can have a set of specs, fix the building, and then put it out for bid. I mean, you know, it looks like a lot, but it really isn't. A lot of it's cosmetic. The doors could be replaced when they're at the end of their life.
You never match those tiles now. Probably end up your tile in the whole place.
you know, like the doorways on the exterior walls, like the entrance door. You know, when the doors are sitting on the foundation, and then a slab butts against it. So tile always breaks there. You know what I mean? That's normally where we have to go back and fix it, because part of the tile is sitting on the foundation, part of the tile is sitting on the slab.
On that particular doorway, I asked probably a year ago to have that tile taken right out of that entry area and just put down indoor, outdoor rug, or paint it. And then just throw one, they've done it for us, they put these area rugs down, so when you come in, you don't track all the water through the place, the snow.
But I think Jeff is right. I think we need somebody to go through and evaluate whether there are 5 issues, you know what I mean? And then figure out how to correct, and then go and correct it.
Write a spec, and then we can put it out for bid and see what the bids come back at.
Because truthfully, it's a capital project.
Yeah.
It's not.
Good idea. Can we put that together, Paul? Scott?
That was on Barbara's desk, Mike.
No, actually.
I can work with Scott.
Oh, is it?
I don't need it.
Stuff.
It'll be a while.
So is that something that we're gonna direct Paul to do, or is it something that Scott would be involved in, or how do you want to work that?
Mike, Scott, and Paul.
All three of them
I
together?
think, I mean, Mike knows what's going on, Paul knows what's going on, and Scott's got to do the RFP, so if the three of them put it together and they come back.
I think the ceiling part's the easiest part. The flooring part is probably
Rip all the tile up, like you said, and replace the doors. So, I gotta find out what to say.
All right, so the pleasure of the committee is to direct Mike, Paul, and Scott to get together, write an RFP.
For an engineering firm to come evaluate it. At least then we'll have an idea of what the cost is.
We're gonna target maybe next month meeting.
Of August.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
We don't want to drag it out.
Forget about it.
Don't want to drag it out
Budget and- Yeah, I think that would be-
for the next public safety committee meeting. Sound good?
That way we should be able to act on it.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
committee? Okay. Any further discussion on that? Okay. Next item on the agenda is resolution amending resolution 275 of 2012, appointing member of Montgomery County Fire Advisory Board. Fire Service, I sponsor, I need a second. Greg? Any discussion? Wish of the committee? Move it. Okay. I've got one other thing under other. Since I am the chairman for the sanitary district number 1 in Belliston, we did have a list from passion violations. There was an original informal list that they gave us, and then we just recently received the formal list. 90